It's happening, guys, this Friday, November 8th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Stephanie and I will be going live for the first time in over a year on Comics and Beer, episode 104. We're going to be talking about all things comic book news, movies, and TV related. I'll try to get her to cover some actual comic book news itself. She is just so into the movies and TV shows, it's easier for her to talk about those things. But we're going to be talking just all things comic books and having some beers and hanging out with you guys in the live chat. So do not miss it. This Friday, November 8th, Comics and Beer. It's going to be freaking amazing. Now the last thing, if I seem a little under the weather, it's because I am. I had a 101 fever all day yesterday and I still am not right. We're going to go ahead and plow on through. So let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead and dive in to today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Wednesday pull list, which is your hype video for New Comic Book Day. And this week's New Comic Book Day is November 6th of 2024, just one day away from the recording of this video, which is Monday. Actually, no, I'm recording this on Monday, so it's technically 2 days away? No, just one day away. I'm recording this video on Monday, November 4th of 2024. Tomorrow is Election Day. Make sure you guys are getting out and voting so that way your voice can be heard. Vote for whatever candidate you want to, but just make sure that you do vote. It's very important. But yeah, November 4th. I'm recording this a little bit early because I was sick as a dog yesterday and I was able to read every single book on my pull list. And tomorrow my kids are going to be home, so my day's going to be a little frazzled, but I'll be able to edit the video throughout the day. But this is your hype video for New Comic Book Day. We're going to go over all my favorite covers. We're going to go over all the books that are on my pull list. I'm going to cover my top 3 books. I'm going to go over all the new number ones. And just all the good stuff that you guys need for this week's New Comic Book Day. So let's not waste any more time. There are no books on the chopping block this week, so we can dive right into my cover liver picks. Now, I know I just said we were going to dive right into my cover liver picks, but we haven't covered my pull list yet. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Now, as you guys can see, there's a lot more books on here than last week's, but you guys can't see what books these are, so let me go ahead and throw them up on screen right now. Guys, there are a total of 22 books on my pull list. There was only 12 last week. There's 22 this week. There are 3 new number ones, 7 DC books, 6 Marvel books, and 9 indie comics. So that's a lot of books for me to read, but I got it all done yesterday because I was nice and sick, and so I just laid in bed all day and read comic books, which was actually pretty nice. So every single book you see here on screen right now could make the top 3 list. Now, like I said, there are no books on the chopping block, so let's go ahead and finally dive into my cover liver picks. Alright guys, just like the last few weeks, there are a lot of really amazing covers coming out this week that I think you guys could pick up based on just the cover art alone. And guys, there are so many other covers available to you guys that I am not putting in this video. So if you guys want to see all the covers, make sure you guys are going over to leagueofcomicgeeks.com and checking out every single cover that is available to pick up this week. Alright guys, let's go ahead and dive into my favorites, and we're going to kick this off with Batman issue number 154 with the cover E, which is the 1:50 ratio variant done by James Herron. I like it because it's different. It's just really stinking cool to me. In Batman, he's like very small on the screen, but he's like hanging up the side of the building. It's really stinking cool. Now next up is Batman issue number 154 with the cover C variant. This is done by Gabriel Del Otto. It's just an amazing Del Otto. You got that fire in the background, and he's kind of like protecting himself with his cape. It's freaking awesome. Now next up is Absolute Superman issue number 1. We're finally getting our hands on this book. This is the cover F. It's the 1:25 ratio variant done by Matteo Scalera. It's my favorite out of all the Superman variants that there is. It's just really stinking cool. The next up is Batgirl issue number 1 with the cover B done by Jeff DeCall. It's Cassandra, it's DeCall, it's all around freaking goodness. The next up is another variant for Batgirl issue number 1, with this is the cover C and the cover D foil variant done by Artgerm. Now what I like about this is that he did not try to make her look too sexy, she just looks freaking awesome. She looks like a badass character, just like she should. Now, next up is Aliens vs. Avengers, issue number 2, with the variant cover done by Andre Sorrentino. It's Sorrentino, man. On Avengers vs. Alien, you get the Hulk. He's like squeezing the head of a xenomorph. It is just really, really cool in this book. Man, this book. Next up is Poison Ivy, issue number 27, with the cover B in the 1:50 Virgin ratio variant done by Jenny Frison. It's not the best, but it's still so good. The next up is another cover for Poison Ivy, issue number 27. This is the cover D. It's the 1:25 ratio variant done by Puppeteer Lee. It is really good. Like, really good. I am hoping my comic shop has this for about 12 bucks, and if it does, woo, I'm going to swoop in and grab that sucker. Now, next up are a bunch of covers for Something is Killing the Children, issue number 0. Now, I am a big Something is Killing the Children fan. I have been since issue number 1. Stephanie is a big fan herself. We love this book. And this cover that is up on screen right now, which is the cover B, is so freaking gorgeous, but there are 2 other variants for this. There is the cover E, which is a 1:10 Virgin, and there is a cover G, which is a 1:50 black and white Virgin ratio variant, all done by the amazing Jenny Frison. So good. So good. Now, 3 more covers for this book. Next up is Something is Killing Children, issue number 0, the cover J, which is the 1:200 Virgin ratio variant done by Sean Murphy. I love Sean Murphy. His artwork is so gorgeous, and this cover is really stinking cool, most likely out of my price range. After that, we get the cover A and the cover M. The cover M is the 1 per store Virgin done by Werther Dell'Edera. I'm obviously picking up the cover A, and if I can find the 1 per store, I'm going to snag that as well. This is really, really nice. And last but not least, on League of Comic Geeks, this is the cover C. It's their intermix variant, and it says it's done by Dan Moore, which I think might be a typo because this just looks like a, what's it called? A logo variant, where it's just kind of like in the middle, or a blank variant where the type is set in the middle, but it's either way, it's really sneaking cool. Now, next up is the final cover for Something is Killing the Children. This is the cover L Virgin variant. It is open order. This is done by Chris Bacalo. I'm a huge fan of Chris Bacalo, and I think this cover is really, really cool. All right, guys, we have 6 more covers left. 1, 2, 3, 6. That's how you count. Next up is Venom War, issue number 4, with the 1:25 ratio variant done by John Jang. I'm not a giant John Jang fan, but this cover, wow, it is really, really good. Next up is Spider Society, issue number 4, with the Spider-Punk variant in the 1:50 Virgin ratio variant done by DK Ruan. You know it's going to be on the list. It's DK, man. So good. The 1:50 is definitely the one to get, but I'm probably going to be priced out of that one as well. Next up, FML number 1 with the cover E, which is the 1:25 ratio variant done by Pepe Larraz. No, I did not have this book on my pull list. I might end up putting it on after I read issue number 1 when I get this ratio cover in the mail, because I'm definitely going to snag this because this is too good to miss. It's just such a great cover. And the concept does sound really cool. I just missed it when it was on preview, so I'm most likely going to pick it up in the future. Or on this Wednesday on MCS. We'll see. Next up is Kill Town, issue number 1 with the cover D variant done by Rob Pryor. I feel like I showed this cover like really recently. Was it on last week's FOC? How is it already on New Comic Book Day? I don't know, but it was on League of Comic Geeks, so I'm showing you guys again. Just make sure if you see this in your local comic shop, snag it. It is really good. Now, 2 more covers. Next up is The Moon is Following Us, issue number 1 with the 3rd print and the 1:10 black and white ratio variant done by Daniel Warren Johnson. Both are really cool. Issue number 1 was kind of a letdown in my opinion, but everyone in the Discord says it's freaking awesome. And that's a reminder, if you guys have not joined the Discord, there is a link down in the description that you can join and join the amazing people that are in there. We talk comic books every single day. Last but not least, for cover lover picks, we got Uncanny X-Men issue number 3 with the 2nd print 1:25 ratio variant done by Mumad as Rawr. It is so good. I love this cover. My favorite. Not of all time, but just of Uncanny X-Men issue number 3. All right, guys. Those are all my cover lover picks. I hope you guys saw some books that you really like. If you do, let me know down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and keep this train moving. And we're going to go ahead and check out all the new number 1s that are on my pull list. And we'll let you guys know why I think you guys should be picking these up as well. Quick break in the video, guys. If you guys are enjoying today's video, would you do me a favor and smash that like button? It truly, truly helps the video out so much, and this channel out, not just this video, this channel. I would truly appreciate it if you guys would smash that like button. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out these new number ones. All right, there are 3 new number ones on my pull list this week, and I want to read the synopsis for each one, so let's not waste any time. Each one of these new number ones is coming from DC Comics. They're each part of the all-in package, so let's go ahead and dive into the first one, and that is JSA issue number 1. This is coming from the writer of Jeff Lemire. Let that sink in. Jeff Lemire is writing at DC Comics again. I am so excited, and this is going to have art by Diego. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I don't even want to try, but I'm really excited about this book because Jeff Lemire is going to be writing it. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis. The new era of the JSA begins here. Longtime fan favorite characters Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Jade, Obsidian, Jesse Quick, Hourman, Ted Grant, and Sandman are all back on the roster as DC's first super team faces their greatest and most personal challenge yet. Will Golden Age ideals hold true in a world recovering from the events of absolute power, or do they need a more hardcore approach to stand a chance against the new Injustice Society of America? What is that? Injustice Society of America? Is that a new team that they're going to be battling? Is that a first appearance of something new? I don't know, but I am all in for this. Jeff Lemire does really great character stories, and I cannot wait to see what he's going to do with the JSA. Now, as I was making my cover lever picks, I went through all the covers for this book, hoping there was going to be some bangers, but there's really not. There are a bunch of different covers. There's the cover B done by Cully Hammer, which is okay. The cover C by Travis Mercer is definitely the best. Cover D is the Jeff Lemire Connecting Cardstock variant, which again is pretty good. There's the cover E blank cover. There's the cover F by Travis Mercer, which is just the virgin foil of the cover C. Then the ratio books is the cover G, which is the 1/25 by Sweeney Boo, which is not very good. And then there's the cover H, which is the 1/50 done by John K. Snyder III, which again, I don't really care for all that much. So those are all the variants, and I would say just stick with the cover A. That seems to be the best in my opinion. But guys, let's keep moving. So next up, we have a book that I'm super pumped for because of the character itself, and that is Batgirl issue number 1. Now this is coming from the writer of Tate Bromble and has art by Takeshi Miyazawa. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Tate Bromble. He was the main writer, I want to say, on the House of Slaughter, and I was really hoping that book was going to be amazing. He was the co-writer with James Tynion IV, and overall the book was meh. It wasn't great in my opinion, but I'm going to give this book a chance, and I'm really excited for it. And let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this. Hold on to your seats. Clutch your pearls and rejoice in celebration because Cassandra Cain is taking center stage in her first solo Batgirl series in nearly 2 decades. When a deadly group of assassins shows up to kill Cassandra Cain, Lady Shiva comes to her rescue. What? And they must put their complicated past aside to work together as mother and daughter to ensure they might make it out alive. Unfortunately, things are never as easy as they seem, and Cass must embark on a jaw-dropping martial arts-filled adventure in her quest for truth and justice. And revenge? It's a Batgirl book like never before, so join us as we dive into the psyche of one of Gotham's deadliest fighters while exploring her deep and complex relationship with her mother. I like that part, the really deep and complex relationship with her mother. If they can do that, plus also do like a really cool mystery story about fighting and assassins and all that stuff, that sounds really good. Like really good. Now the variants for this, we've already covered all of them except for the 1/25, and the 1/25 is also really cool, and it's done by Skylar Patridge, which is awesome. So you get some really great covers. You got the cover B done by Jeff Tikal, the cover C and D done by Art Jim, and the 1/25 done by Skylar Patridge. So a bunch of really great covers. Now let's go ahead and cover the final new number 1, and that is Absolute Batman issue number 1, coming from the writer of Jason Aaron, art by Rafa Sandoval, and the synopsis is so short and sweet. Superstars Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval unleash a shocking new take on the last son of Krypton. Without the fortress, without the family, without a home, what's left? is the Absolute Man of Steel. Now, I've only read Absolute Batman, and that was freaking amazing. I do have my Absolute Wonder Woman right over here. I need to get to it. I just spent all day catching up on all the books I needed to read for this video, so hopefully I can read it tomorrow. And they've just been so good so far, at least Absolute Batman. And everyone in the Discord, again, if you haven't joined, join now, have mentioned that Absolute Wonder Woman is pretty darn good as well. So the reviews overall for this Absolute universe that they're building is good. So I'm guessing that this one is going to be awesome as well. Jason Aaron can hit home runs when he's like, really firing on all cylinders. And he has Rafa Sandoval. Rafa Sandoval as the artist. So good. Let's go ahead and cover the variants real quick. We got the cover B done by Wes Craig, which is okay. The cover C by Jim Lee, again, is pretty good. The cover D by Clayton Crane is fine. The cover E is the logo foil variant, which is pretty boring and plain. The cover I is a blank. The cover J is the Jim Lee foil virgin variant. We got that cover F, which is the 1:25 ratio variant done by Matteo Scalera, which is awesome. The cover G is the 1:50 ratio variant done by Clayton Crane, which is the lazy cover. DC, stop being lazy. And the cover H is the 1/100 Jim Lee black and white cardstock virgin variant, which again is kind of lazy. You're just taking the cover C and then making it a black and white virgin variant. But that's okay. The variant is amazing because it's Jim freaking Lee. All right, guys, those are all the new number ones on my pull list this week. I hope you guys are really excited about all of them like I am. If I miss a new number one, guys, let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which are the top 3 books that I'm most excited to pick up this week because the previous issues were so freaking good. In the number 3 spot is a Marvel book, and I'm really enjoying this whole Ultimate line that they're producing right now, except for Ultimate X-Men. Every other book is really enjoyable. And guys, in the number 3 spot is the Ultimates issue number 6. This is coming from the writer of Dennis Camp and has art by Juan Fiergi. And issue number 5, which I read yesterday, was so good. This series continues to be a surprise hit because I had no idea who Dennis Camp was. And I was really worried that he was not going to be able to bring it on a Avengers style book. But man, he is bringing it and it is so good. Issue number 5 was all around the new Ultimate Hawkeye. How he came about and who he was, I guess, kind of as a person. And it was so interestingly done. At the beginning of issue number 5, we have Iron Lad talking with Captain America. And Iron Lad is talking about how he's really worried about the person who now has the weapons that are Hawkeye, which is the bow and this quiver that can produce like any arrow you need out on the spot, which is really freaking cool. The original person that he was going to give it to gave it up. He like threw it in the trash can. And this kid came upon it and like took it, and now he is out there doing Hawkeye style things, like fighting for nature and fighting for the people. But he doesn't think, Iron Lad does not think that he's the right fit for this role, and he wants Captain America to go take the weapons away from him. And Cap goes out to meet this kid, and he's at a Roxxon facility, and he's like blowing it up and like destroying it because like, it's killing the Earth. And Captain America has this back and forth with the kid, and he's telling him like, hey, give me the weapons. And the kid's like, no, I deserve these weapons. And you learn a lot about this kid through this interaction. It's done so well. And in the end, he keeps the weapon and he joins the Ultimates, and they have this big fight with Roxxon. It's so epically done. Great way to introduce this character, not in a boring way, but in an action-packed, heartfelt way coming from Captain America. I absolutely love it. Dennis Camp, you're absolutely crushing this book, and I cannot wait to see where you're going to take it. It's so fun. And at the end of issue number 5, we see that the Ultimate Hulk is going to come and try to kill the Ultimates in the next issue, which is what you see on the cover right here, is the Ultimate Hulk holding the helmet of Iron Lad and the shield of Captain America and the hammer of Thor. What's going to happen to our poor Ultimates? I don't know, but I'm really excited to see. All right, guys, that is the number 3 book. Let's go ahead and find out what my number 2 is. In the number 2 spot is an indie. It's on its 41st issue, but technically this is issue number 0 coming out this week. with some kick-ass freaking covers for this issue. But overall, this is one of the best ongoing series that isn't independent, in my opinion. It's so good. Guys, I'm talking about Something is Killing the Children. Issue number 0 drops this week. I read issue number 40 yesterday. Oh my God, it was so good. Now, if you did not know, this is written by James Tynion IV and has art by Werther Dell'Edera. What a gentleman Werther is. We met him at New York Comic Con. So sweet. I have a piece of art up on my wall that was sent to him, to Stephanie, for my 40th birthday for free. So amazing. He's been on the channel like a long time ago on Comics and Beer. Just such a good guy. But this series truly is so good. It's had its highs, it's had a couple lows, but overall one of the best reads there is, especially if you're into character-driven monster hunter stories. So good. Issue number 40, which I read yesterday, was an incredible look at Erica Slaughter and why she doesn't like to use guns and why guns are kind of bad. And it was so beautifully done, looking at her history, her relationship with the character of Aaron, which sadly died like super early in the beginning of this run. Spoiler, I guess, if you haven't read it. But the writing was so good, and the art by Werther Dell'Edera. There's no one else that can take over this book. This book needs to stay these two, writer and artist, until the end, and it just ends, because it just won't be the same. His rendition of Erica Slaughter is the only rendition of Erica Slaughter that I absolutely love. There are others that are good. Speaking of Jenny Frison, I love her rendition of her, but overall Werther is the best. But if you have not read this book, go pick up the big collections of this book or all the trades. I'm sure you can pick it up in all kinds of different ways at this point. Finding all the single issues is going to be damn near impossible, but this book is a must-have, in my opinion. I've already covered all of my favorite variant covers for this during my cover liver picks. I'm pretty sure that's almost all the variants. There's a 1 in 25 Jeff DeCall that I haven't spoken about, but it's just weird looking. I love DeCall. Man, that is a weird cover, in my opinion. But guys, let me know down in the comments below. Do you read Something is Killing the Children? Do you love it as much as I do? Did you read issue number 40? How good was that issue? I just loved it. I loved it so much. Maybe because I don't like guns, and there was like a lot about why guns are bad and how, like, you know, there was a tragic moment where this little girl accidentally took her own life with a gun, and it completely crushed Erica Slaughter, and it just hit home so hard. And I freaking, when a book can hit you like that, it's so good. Read this book. It's so good. So good. I'm rambling at this point. Let's go ahead and move on to the next book, which is the #1 book that I think you guys have to be picking up this week because the previous issue was so good. I'm not going to say this lightly. This was definitely the best book that I read yesterday. It was so good. It like flattened me. I was not prepared for this book to be that good. I'm talking about Aliens vs. Avengers. Issue number 2 comes out this week. I read issue number 1 either yesterday or Saturday, and it's still like ringing in my ears or in my brain how good it was set up. This world and how this story progressed throughout the issue was so well done. Now, this is coming from the architect, the amazing writer that is Jonathan Hickman, and has art by Asad Ribic. Now, if you guys have watched the channel enough, you guys know, I'm sure some of you out there, you know exactly what I'm going to say. I love What If and Elseworlds stories almost more than any other story there is for the big two. I think when you can take the characters that we know and love from these two universes, and then you can tell stories without worrying about continuity or anything like that, the writers can do things that they normally can't, and that's what makes these stories so exciting. Now, I am terrified of the alien world. I watched Alien 1 with my dad when I was a little kid, had nightmares for months. For months. The hand sucker thingies that impregnate the people, I still have nightmares about those things. I am so freaked out about the xenomorphs and everything else, and seeing them decimate worlds and decimate the earth and see how the heroes really got destroyed. Like, how? How is there only so few left? It's crazy. This book is so good. Issue number 1 really did, I think, one of the best jobs of setting up a what-if story, an Elseworld tale. Like, so good. You're on a spaceship with, oh, I forgot the name of the characters. They're like, you know, a normal character within the Marvel Universe. There are some like villains from another planet, and they're basically stealing different races from different planets and impregnating them with the xenomorph and seeing what kind of xenomorph comes out of them. So you get all these different biologies and everything, which is terrifying. Like, creepy, terrifying. Like, the fact that xenomorphs could take some of the abilities from these beings and then come out with them? Like, what? Awesome. Crazy awesome idea. And then a character from the Marvel Universe finds them, boards the ship, and finds out what they're going to do, but finds out that it's already too late. So good. And there's more to it. There's so much more to that. But remember, this is a what-if story. The ending of book number 1 was, again, one of the best endings. So you got these characters within the Marvel Universe, and they're fighting the xenomorphs, and you think something's going to happen, and then he can easily twist it on its head, and that's what happened. It was so good. If you haven't read it, definitely go ahead and read it. Now, one warning going into this book. It is $7.99. It is an $8 cover price for this book. And I think that's why a lot of people hesitated to pick up the first issue, because it was an $8 book, which is absolutely crazy. But I can tell you right now, it is 100% worth every single penny. The interior art is absolutely gorgeous. The story was mind-blowingly good. The dialogue, the pacing, everything about issue number 1 was a home freaking run. Now, that's everything I want to tell you guys about issue number 1 and why I think you should be picking up issue number 2. Now, the variant covers for issue number 2 are pretty good. There's a cover that I've already shown you guys, which is basically the cover B done by Andrea Sorrentino, which is fantastic. There is a cover done by Matthias Manhini, which is pretty good. You got Thor on the cover because we didn't see him in issue number 1. And then you get the 1:25 ratio variant done by Paco Medina featuring Vision, which he should have an issue fighting the Xenomorphs, but we will see. I cannot wait to see all the other heroes and villains that we did not see in issue number 1 and see what happened to them. Oh, there's just so many good parts of issue number 1 that I did not talk about. I could continue rambling, but I'm not going to because I feel like crap right now. I'm running out of steam, guys, and I still got to do the Not Top 3 and the books you're going to see, and we're going to jump in right now. Alright guys, the not top 3, but the books you're going to see is a time in this video where I get to cover the rest of the books that are on my pull list. I try to give you a little bit of information about each one to let you know if they're okay, they're good, or they're great. Now, the OKR books I really cannot suggest you guys pick up because they were only okay. The good books are books that I would say you guys should check out for yourself, and the great are goddamn bangers that almost made the top 3 list, but I picked the other 3 instead. So, the OK. There's only one book in the OK, and that is, I realized that I did not read Duck and Cover issue number 2. It's over on my bed right now. I forgot to read it before hitting record for this video, so that book could not make the top 3 list technically, but issue number 1 is actually really good. I was really shocked by how good that was, but it's Scott Snyder. Of course it was good. This is only a 3-issue series, but each issue is a double issue. There's 2 issues in 1 issue. Got it? All right, the good books. First up, you got The Avengers, issue number 20. This series continues just to be a solid, good book. There's some good stuff. There's some not so good stuff, but the good outweighs the not so good. Like the Blood Hunt stuff was absolutely terrible. Like, don't even touch that stuff. But the rest of the stuff has been interesting. It's written by Jen McKay, and that's why I think I continue to enjoy this book, because there are little elements that are leading towards something better, and I just gotta continue until I get there. Maybe I'm just a Jen McKay fanboy, and I'm just like holding on for something that's not really there. But man, I love him as a writer. I really hope The Avengers is gonna be great at some point. Next up, Nemesis Rogues Gallery, issue number 4. This is written by Mark Miller. I forgot who the artist is. I really don't like the artist on this book. And this book is good. It's basically about a guy who is a version of Batman, but he's super evil. Imagine Batman, but unhinged and willing to do anything for himself. Like, he will kill and take anything. It's pretty gruesome, pretty crazy, pretty interesting, but I don't know. Something about the story I'm not enjoying as much as the first run. Next up, Kill All Immortals, issue number 4. Issue number 3 was okay in this series. Continues to be a solid read with some really interesting things happening within the book. There was a cliffhanger at the end at issue number 3. Something I didn't see coming happened, and that was super fun. Up until that point, the series was getting a little stale, but I'm really excited to see where this series is going to go after issue number 3, which we'll find out in issue number 4 this week. Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Night Watcher, issue number 3. Issue number 2 was better than 1. Very interesting story. We get introduced to a new character who is a machine that was built to do good, but did something bad as they were trying to do something good because they were really programmed with basically one thought. And that was cool. And then something happened at the end. I don't want to ruin it for anyone who might want to check this out, but the Night Watcher, which I'm not going to tell you who the Night Watcher is. You guys should check this book out for yourself, especially if you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. Helps this thing, and then something else happens at the end. Pretty cool. Next up, X-Force, issue number 5. We're getting closer and closer to this book being on the okay list and then being chopped. It's just, I don't know. We get an interesting team of characters on the X-Force. It's just, I don't know. There's something about this book that needs to be done better, and it's just not. And this is just lackluster, and it continues to let me down every single issue. Next up, X-Men, issue number 7. Same thing. I don't know. This book, they keep changing artists. Ryan Stegman was like a huge selling point, and also Jed MacKay as the writer was a huge selling point, but where the hell is this series going? Why do I not care about this series? I need to care about the main X-Men title, and I don't. I don't care. Next up, X Factor, issue number 4. Now, issue number 3, let's say issue numbers 1 and 2 were bad. I did not like them at all. Issue number 3, there was a little something there, which I do not like. I want to cut this book, but after reading issue number 3, I'm like, maybe I need to give this book a little bit more of a chance. Maybe. So I'll give this to the end of the first story arc, which will most likely be at the end of issue number 6, and then I'll decide if I'm going to chop it or not. All right, guys, next up are the great books. These are all books that could have made the top 3 lists on a different week, but guys, these books are really good. You really should be reading them. And first up is Batman issue number 154. This is the start of, actually 153 was the start of Chip Zdarsky's final story on Batman, which is pretty sad, but we are getting Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee after that, and we're getting the second story of Hush, which is super exciting. But this story, we get introduced to a new character, the Patriot, I want to say he was, and Gotham is like growing and doing really nice things, but obviously this is Gotham, so they're going to try to drag it back down into the dark. But it's pretty interesting. I really like what's going on with Batman right now. Next up, Birds of Prey, issue number 15. Really good issue. This series have had some highs and lows through these 14 issues that I've read so far, but issue number 14 was really, really fun. Next up, Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 37. 36 was great. This series continues just to be a great story. I can't give you the history of 37 issues because I only read 7 of them, but guys, this series is super enjoyable. You should be reading it. After that, King Spawn, issue number 39. Same thing. You guys should be reading it. Super fun story. This is tied directly into the Spawn series, so if you're reading Spawn, you should be reading this. You get more information into the main story that's going on within the Spawn books. After that, Plastic Man No More, issue number 3. Great Elseworld Tale, Black Label book for Plastic Man. It's super fun. It's got some really funny parts. It's got a very sad main story, or element of the story. Plastic Man is dying basically, and he found out that his son has his same abilities, and he doesn't want the same thing happen to him. So he's going through above and beyond, doing anything he can to find a way to save his son from having this happen to him. Really cool. After that, Poison Ivy, issue number 27. This was teeter-tottering to being in the number 3 book. It was so good. G. Willow Wilson is telling like such an amazing story, and I love this book. I want her to be on it for like 70, 100 issues. Poison Ivy, G. Willow Wilson, match made in heaven. After that, The Scorch, issue number 35. Like I said, this ties into the main Spawn book and what's happening. The Scorch team is really, really cool. I thought Jessica, which is Lady Spawn, was Breaking Bad, but she's actually still part of the good team. We found out in issue number 34. So good. And last up, The Sacrificers, issue number 12. So good. So good. So Leah is the daughter of the main god who had her power drained from her, and she's basically on the run and in hiding. And this issue dealt with that a lot, and it was so good. And she, in issue number 10, ran into the other main character, which was the Sacrificer family. So he was supposed to be sacrificed. He took Solia's powers, and they basically separated from that point, and we were following them separately in separate stories. So he now has god powers, and she got depowered, and they're both like moving on in their lives with how they are now. And the fact that she ran into his family and is like they're like sad and they're struggling, and now she's sad and struggling, and they're struggling together. It's so good. It's just an awesome story. Rick Remender, man. Rick Remender is one hell of a writer, and this story is so good. There is a different artist on it, I think, and it's not as good, but overall this story is freaking amazing. All right, guys, those are all the books on the not top 3, but the books you gotta see, and we gotta end this video because I don't think I can talk anymore. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, guys, we are at the end of today's video, and I apologize. I'm a little all over the place in today's video. I am not feeling myself, but I needed to get this video recorded today. If I didn't record it today, I was not gonna have time to do that tomorrow, plus edit the video with my whole family being home, because I wanna be able to be present for them, but I also have to work full time as well. So I apologize, but I'm feeling super under the weather right now. Reminder, Friday, which is only a few days away from you guys seeing this video, Friday, November 8th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Stephanie and I will be going live for the first time in over a year on Comics and Beer, episode 104. We're both really excited to be coming back, talking with you guys. We might be a little late. The show might actually go on at 10, but right now it's scheduled for 9:30, and it's gonna be a ton of fun. So much fun. Come hang out, have a cocktail or a beer of your own, or if you don't drink, have a nice soda or water. Maybe even water is your drink of choice. Just come hang out and listen to us babble about comics. Give us your opinions as we talk about comics. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Last but not least, guys, if you guys enjoyed that video and you enjoy comic content and you guys are not subscribed, I just gotta say, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. All right, guys, I'll be back on Thursday with my final order cutoff video, and then I'll see you guys on Friday for Comics and Beer. All right, guys, have yourself a great new comic book day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.